Hello everyone, this is Kelly with a tiny bit of this and my daughter Mandy.
Hello.
We're here to share with you my Workbox 3.0 that I had purchased from Scrapbox.com.
My husband and I were here when it was delivered and we set it up while she was on vacation. Some of the directions were not very clear in some parts, or we kind of switched things up to make it a little bit easier. So if you watch throughout the entire video, we do point out some tips on making things go a little bit smoother for you during the build process. And then at the end, when she actually came home and helped me put everything into it, we show some more ideas on customizing it to actually fit your needs if you have some of the specific craft items that she has that may not have fit exactly in one perfect spot.
So I'm super excited to share with you some personalization that I had made in the box to make it look pretty when it's opened. So let's get started.
Oh, they're going all the way. Alright, I kind of jumped ahead without remembering to start the videotape. So hopefully you can see this here. We actually used the small notions shells to shim up the entire unit in order to hold it up off the ground to put the sides on. So we already have that done. That's what those all pieces are there. So it's all shimmed up and ready to go. And we have each side on, so there we go.
So in order for the longer items that I have to fit in here, we need to have a hole in between this one and this one here. So we decided, instead of drilling a hole, to take plastic guards from the sides, and we cut them. They're extras, so that's okay. And we're going to put them on top of the hooks of the pegs. So like that. So then it brings up the shelf to where we need it to be in order for my things to fit. So I'm going to use Okay, the tool that they give you to put the pegs in is this little black thing, and so it has a little slit. You're going to put the flat end into the slit and then push it in until you hear a click.
With the tab facing upwards.
With the tab facing up, just like that. It's really super helpful using that tool when you're doing them in these shelves.
Shelf goes at an angle too.
And then when you actually put your shelf in, you're going to put it in an angle, starting here, and then pushing down on the other side.
Alright, so we already talked about the plastic tool that they give you to help you pop the pegs in, but there is a little bit of an issue, and also something else that we want to point out with the way the pegs were specifically made. So we talked about the little plastic piece lip sticking up so that the shelves can snap down. Some of them do have, now remember these are plastic poured in molds, some of them have extra little piece of plastic stuck to it. If you have one like that, the shelf is not going to sit completely flat and pop in like it's supposed to. You can either just set them aside, I mean, in my opinion, we have plenty and you'll have a lot left over when you're done, or I actually was able to take a little pair of needle nose pliers and just kind of snap that little piece of plastic off with no issue, so either way. And then also this one has a little itty bitty piece sticking up. Now you might not even think that that is an issue per se, but again, you can easily flatten it back down. I mean, I was able to just do that with my fingernail. You can do it with needle nose pliers, either way. But that one comes into play with what else we wanted to explain, because people were saying that they were having issues putting two pegs in the same hole where there's only one piece in between, as opposed to the shelves being completely separated. These pegs were specifically made differently than most normal shelf pegs. Most normal shelf pegs have a completely round peg that is the same size as the peg holes that fit exactly in the peg holes. These ones were made, basically, I keep saying they are like half pegs. It's round on the top to equal up with the peg hole, but then halfway through it just gets flattened and is basically half the size of the hole. That is so the two pegs can actually sit in the hole together and share the space. Whereas if you had two full round pegs the size of the hole, they would basically not be able to go in because they would hit each other. These are meant to go up snug right next to each other. If you're having an issue with getting them in, it could be because you have a little bit of plastic sticking up like this one had. If that little bit of plastic is sticking up and not allowing them to actually join the way they're supposed to, it's going to cause an issue. Just make sure that you are using your tool, because it definitely helps. And you might just, it might not go straight in directly immediately. You might have to wiggle it. You might have to, like I found, this is the flat part, this is the round side. So I found kind of putting it in at a little bit of an angle until you feel it hit that other peg, and then straightening it out and popping it in worked very well if I was having trouble going straight in initially, because obviously, again, they're plastic poured in molds. They're not going to be perfectly equal in size every time. You might have to try a different one, but they do absolutely fit in the same holes on one piece of wood.
Okay, we noticed when putting our unit together that some of the sections, the shelves did not snap into place. And that becomes an issue when you have heavier things like this paper box. When you go to pull out the paper box, it's going to pull your shelf out with it, fall off the back pegs, and then you're going to have to fight to keep it back in. So what I did to fix that issue is I just took a glue dot and stuck it on each top of the pegs and then pushed the shelf down. I didn't use glue because I don't want that really to be a permanent solution. Just in case I want to move the shelves, I don't have to pry the shelf off of a glued peg. You wouldn't be able to get the pegs out without the shelf coming off. So glue dots was my solution on that. The reason why we think that some of the sections throughout the unit might not have shelves that snap in is because the distance between the pegs might be off due to where they drilled the holes up on top of the unit. So they drill these holes, so when you put your screw in, that's the only spot you can put it in. If they were slightly off, and it is, it's just slightly off, just a hair. If that pre-drilled hole is off, then these shelves are not going to fit in exactly right. You're going to have some wiggle room. So that was my solution on that. I'm going to just show you my section that I had put all my heavy paper in, and as you can see, I can now pull these bins out, and my shelves are not coming with them, even though this is one of the sections that I needed to put the glue dots on the shelves, and you see they hold. So it's a solution that I think works pretty well. And I did have to do that to this whole side, one side of my center section as well, over here. I had to put the glue dots in here too. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I'm going to point out a few of the things that made my box look a little pretty. First, I had created little tags to cover up my bins so you didn't see exactly what was inside, and I labeled each bin so I knew what was inside without having to open it up and look. When we put the box together, we did not specifically put our shelves in exactly according to what they said to put them in, all evenly spaced, because I have some items that needed more room. So as you can see, these are a lot higher than the drawer, and they wouldn't fit if I did everything even all the way down the line. So for the boxes that I only needed enough space just to fit the bin, we did that. For those that I needed more room, we added more room all the way down. And I did this for each and every section. Don't be afraid when you're setting up your box to have different size shelves going down here to utilize maybe these size bins and these together. You don't have to have all one side with this size bin and the whole other side with the other size bin. And you can always switch out as you go along. Say a month from now, I may need more room in between these bins. I can just remove the shelves, take out the pegs and move them, because you have a ton of peg holes that you can customize this to any way you want. The workbox comes with these inserts. They're not super sturdy, but they don't really need to be because they're actually made to go into the actual bin. And these have little dividers that you can separate your items. Don't be afraid to add some of your own little decorative boxes inside the boxes if you like, or I could have just taken these 31 bags and then just put them right here in the shelf if I wanted to, and not used the tote at all and used this somewhere else. So thank you for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up, share with your crafty friends, and be sure to subscribe to see my future videos where I put this baby to work. Thanks again, and remember to always create something amazing with a tiny bit of this and a whole lot of love.